Welcome to this virtual cast. Hopefully you guys can hear me as the tip ball is going to be controlled by the Cougars. I get Jake Rowe here in just a moment as now we got going to pull up the women rosters here. A little bit of a difference here, just trying to get things set up. As now here come the Saints the other way. Or I believe that is the that is Clackamas. Sorry, I had the colors mixed up. We'll have this fixed in no time. Just let me get everything set. So here come the Saints as Foyleman gets it across. Is now into the left wing. As now it's going to be a pass out from somebody, and ball goes out of play. And got a whistle there. So now it'll be free throws as that looks like Patterson misses the second, but an offensive rebound keeps it alive for the Saints as Foyleman throws it across. Here's a layup. That one's good to tie the game at 3. Don't worry, Will. Three-pointer there. Good. Clackamas back in front. And now a breakaway and a layup to put Clackamas up by 5 as now the Saints bring it back from left to right. As now we got Patterson inside the lane, loses possession, and it goes back to the Cougars. As looks like now we got a pass across to the left. Here's a 3 on the way and good from Callie Glenn. As she stumbled over there to make the 3. As now we got a dribble inside the lane to the Saints. That one put off the rim, no good. And Clackamas with the rebound. As now Hood steals the ball back. As now we got it back across, moving over to that left side. Gets a pass across. That was Johnson. Now a three-pointer on the way. Off the iron, no good from Kennard there. As now the Cougars bring it back. Moving from right to left is now Fernstorm. Gets pass over. Gets it across now. Into the left corner, three-pointer on the way, off the iron, no good, as Martineau could not put that one down. And the rebound is to the Saints, as now we got Johnson again, gets it over to Foyleman on that right side, gets back to Johnson for 3, it's good. Marley Johnson connects on a big 3 there to put the Saints back to within 5. Now the Cougars inbound it once again, as that one goes out of bounds in possession to Mount Hood, as we have reached our first timeout of the game officially with 7:15 to go here in the opening quarter. As now we're going to get an inbound pass from Knutson, and she gets it into Foyleman as she dribbles across the court. Now moves over to that right side, gets a pass back out Patterson inside the lane. Now Johnson lost it, and here come the Cougars the other way. As now we got Cathin with 3 defenders on her, still puts it up in. Katie Cathin with 3 defenders still able to find a lane and put it home. And Clackamas back up by 7 now, 13-6, as you can see on the scoreboard. Long pass across the court now is Foyleman, and she waits at the logo on that Cougar logo. Now tries to get it over. Now moves over to that right side, gets it back out now to Johnson. Johnson with a pass back to Foyleman. And now we got a whistle, and we got a turnover, I believe, for the Saints, is that might have been a double dribble there. So the Cougars will inbound it from underneath the basket on the right side. As got my rosters here in front of me. Clackamas comes off a win in their last game on Monday. Mount Hood comes off a loss on Monday. So both these teams hungry as Clackamas looks for their second straight win, and Mount Hood tries to get back into the win column after winning 2 of their last 3. I don't know if you guys can hear me that well. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit so you can hear my audio a little bit as Cosmicky now floats a jumper, and that one goes off the iron, no good. Rebounded by Porter, and that one goes out of play. And possession going to be retained by Clackamas, as now we will have Grosbeck handling the inbounding duties, and looks to get it in now as she does to Glenn. Glenn's got a defender on her, gets it back over now to Grosbeck, gets it back over to Glenn, crossing the timeline, can't do so just yet. Now a long pass across to Porter, and Porter gets a pass back across. Now it's back over to Glenn. Here's a 3 right corner. It's good. Jade Rowley connects from 3, and Clackamas up by 10. 16-6 with 5:50 to go here in the opening quarter. Is now Cosmicky a rebuttal 3 off the iron, no good. Rebounded, and now we got a jump ball. And let's see who the possession favors. Looks like it's going to favor the Cougars. So now the inbound pass will come into for Clackamas as they bring it across from right to left. And now a pass goes off the hands of Rowley and out of play. Mount Hood to inbound. So Cosmicky will now get it in. And that is now Lewis. Gets it back over to Cosmicky. Cosmicky with a defender on her. Gets it back over. Intercepted on the breakaway. Here comes Glenn with 2 defenders. Puts it up and in. Off the glass. And the lead now is a dozen for the Cougars. So now Johnson gets a pass back over to Cosmicky. Long pass over to the left side. Gets it back inside now for Knutson as that one is poked away and going to be on the ground. And another jump ball. Possession is going to favor Mount Hood as Marley Johnson now makes her way over to handle the inbound. So now the inbound pass will come from Johnson, floats a pass now into Patterson. Patterson from the free throw line looks for somebody to get it to, passes it over to Cosmicky. Cosmicky now on that right wing. Now gets it back across Johnson. A deep 3, no good. Rebounded by the Saints. And now Johnson tried another. And now she floats a 2. That one up and in. Back to a 10-point game now, 18-8 with under 5 to go. And now we got a whistle. And I believe a timeout now on the floor. As that one was taken by Clackamas, I believe. So now both teams will regroup with 4 3/4 to go here in the opening quarter, and Clackamas with an 18-8 lead in the second of 2 meetings between the 2 teams. The first meeting ended with a Clackamas 83-45 victory in Gresham on this day a month ago, February 1st. So now we got Jump Around playing in the background. Doesn't look like many people are jumping around, though. A little bit of an experiment we're trying here with the first ever Saints broadcast this season for a road game. We will be back home on Friday against Umpqua, so we will have that one live for you. Just check in on the MHCC Advocast YouTube page. I'll be live streamed. So far, I don't know if I'll have an analyst on Friday. I don't currently have an analyst right now, as Jake has not made his way into the Zoom meeting here, as I have sent him the link. Not heard from him yet, but it is in his text message. So here we go. As Clackamas will inbound. That pass is intercepted as Johnson makes the pick. Gets it over to Cosmicky. Gets it over now Lewis on that right side. Dribbles it out of bounds, but possession going to go back to the Saints. So now Johnson will inbound it from The O and the U in Cougars on that sideline. Gets it into Kosmicki. Kosmicki inside with a defender. Puts it up off no good off the rim. And the rebound is going to be handled by Grosbeck as she gets a pass back out, as I believe that's Glenn. And now here's a shot up by Bales. And that one is no good. And possession is turned over. Here you see Coach Brown getting ecstatic on the sideline as that pass just floated in. And now here comes Johnson, gets it over as that one was almost lost there by Knutson. Now gets it over to Kosmicki on the left side, gets it back to Johnson. Johnson, a three. It is good. So Johnson hits the three there, gets Mount Hood back to within 7. A desperate bucket they needed to make here early in the beginning stages. Is there's a rebuttal too, put in by Clackamas, as now Kosmicki inbounds it, gets it over to Lewis, back over to Kosmicki, now over to Johnson, and a long pass across the court as Lewis handles it, gets it over back Johnson. Johnson, here's another three, no good, rebounded by the Saints as Lewis gets it back out. Now Kosmicki from the left wing, off the iron, no, and that one is going to be controlled, and a whistle, and the ball will go back to Clackamas, who leads by 9 with just above 3.5 minutes to go here in the first. So the inbound pass will come from Grosbeck on the near side as she gets it into Martineau. And Martineau now having a little bit of issue crossing the timeline. Now they do get the ball past half court, as now it is going to be Porter. Gets it across, and that ball goes out of play. Possession going to be to the Saints. As now we got, I believe that's Meek now on the very left edge. She just went out of frame. We got Johnson looking like she's going to get the inbound pass. As no, Meek will get it in now to Lewis. Gets it back over to Meek. Now is Johnson. Gets it back to Meek. Back over now is Lewis. Gets it back to Meek now. Looking. Gets it over to Johnson. Johnson dribbles to the inside. Floats up a 2. That one goes in and out. Rebounded by Cathan, as that one now goes over to the right side for Clackamas. Long pass over, left corner 3 is off the back of the iron, no good, and offensive rebound keeps the drive alive, is now that one going to be intercepted. Kosmicki makes the plays, gets it over to Johnson, and Johnson gets it back over. Saints got to get this over the timeline now quickly, as Johnson does get it. Moves across now to that logo, gets it to Kosmicki on the left wing. Kosmicki moves over to their right side. Now gets it back over to Johnson. Johnson gets it back over now. Lewis is now we got a whistle, and I believe we have a foul. And I think the foul might have been called, I think, according to the official, looked like maybe 21 or 12, maybe. So that's Porter. As Kosmicki now gets the inbound pass, dribbles it to the inside, now steps back. Now moves across again, loses possession, but gets it back across, but that one picked off by Porter, as she will now throw it across. That one tipped it into the hands of Johnson, and now Johnson dribbles inside, gets it to Meek, who puts up the share. No, that was Knutson, I'm sorry. Or no, that was Meek. It's hard to tell the numbers, so I apologize if I don't mention the names correctly. So now it'll be Knutson to shoot some free throws, as check her free throw percentage on the season. We'll look at that right here as she makes the first. There's now the second one on the way. That one is good. She gets both. And now here comes Clackamas the other way, as now getting a quick update on Knutson's free throw percentage. If we take a look here, she is 75%. So she had made both of those. Now here's a 2 put up and in for Clackamas, as that one goes down. And the lead is 9 now with just under 2 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Now here's Kosmicki, guarded by 2 defenders, gets it over to Johnson. Johnson gets it back over to Meek on that right corner. Meek floats a 2, floats it off, and no good. Rebounded by Clackamas, as now it's going to be brought back up the floor. Long pass across, goes out of play. Possession goes back to Mount Hood, as that one could not be handled by Martineau. So now an inbound pass will come in to Knutson, who gets it back over to Johnson, who gets it back across to Lewis, back to Johnson, over to Knutson now, over to Meek, and she threw it right into the hands for an interception. Now we get a whistle and a foul, as that was Cathan who picked it off. And now Clackamas will inbound it from midcourt. Now we got substitution time for Mount Hood, as it looks like Jackie McCrae going to make her way into the game. And she can't tell who she's taken the place. I think that was Johnson who might have been coming out of the game. She had been in there since the beginning. So here's Clackamas the other way now. Gets it back over now. Cathan. Here's a floater free throw line jumper. No good, as Fernstorm couldn't get that down. Now here's Meek. Gets it back across now over to that left side, as that is Kosmicki. Gets it back across now to Meek, who loses it on the ground. And now we get a whistle and a jump ball possession to Clackamas. So now inbounding on that right side is going to be Cathan, as she throws a pass into Rowley, or that is Fernstorm. Gets it across now as Glenn loses possession, but Clackamas is still going to be able to retain that, as it'll come from right in front of the Saints bench. Just under a minute to go here in the opening quarter, as that one floated into Cathan, gets it back over now to Glenn, over to the left wing, as now there's a two-pointer off the iron, no, and rebounded by Meek, who brings it the other way for the Saints, as now she crosses the timeline, gets it over now to that left wing, a three, no good, rebounded by Rowley, and she gets fouled. And the foul there, I believe, is going to go against Meek. So 34 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Clackamas with a 22-13 lead. They once had a lead of about a dozen. It's now down to 9, as now here's a three left wing. It's good! And that's Fernstorm to put the Cougars ahead by a dozen once again. So the clock ticking down here as Kosmicki dribbles it and now loses possession, but gets it back over to Meek. Gets it over now, as that is going to be Kennard. As she gets it over to Kosmicki. Kosmicki now dribbles inside with 3 seconds. It's stolen. Tries to put up a shot, and that one is banked off, no good. And that will bring us to the end of quarter number 1 and a 25-13 Clackamas lead. While we wait for the second quarter to begin, just take a look at some things that I usually mention before the game. Did not get to the starting 5, but you guys probably heard that from the PA announcer there, as I started the meeting right at that time. So usually it is the same starting 5. I don't have it from the last game, but we'll take a look here at the Cougars, who are 20-5 overall. They're 12-2 in conference play. They have a 5-game winning streak going, and they average 80 points a game. And they've only lost 2 games in the last 2 months. Against the Lane Titans on the road, both games on the road, actually, against the Lane Titans and the Umpqua Riverhawks, who the Saints will be playing on Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And we'll have that game for you live. I'll be back on campus for that one. As for the Saints, we take a look at their notes here as they come into this game 9-14 overall, 4-9 in conference play. They've won 2 of their last 3. They're on a 2-game winning streak before the loss to PCC on Monday night. They only average 58 points per game, and we'll get to schedules in just a moment. So here we go. Second quarter underway as Kennard gets the inbound pass from Hoyleman, and now Kennard will dribble it over to that right side. Gets it across now to McCrae. McCrae gets it back out Meek. Gets it back across now Knutson. As now over into the left corner, as that was, I believe, Hoyleman. As now Meek dribbles it, or Knutson gets it. Back over now is Meek. Meek now dribbles it to the inside. Gets it down, up, and in. And that puts the Saints back within 10. Here come the Cougars once again, as Glenn will get the inbound pass. She's got 2 defenders on her. And now she gets it back over. Now we get a whistle, and I believe we have a foul on the floor, and that one going to go against Kennard. Just into the second quarter here as Glenn will get the inbound pass and now floats it over. Gets it back across now Cathin. Now gets it over to that right side. Here's a three from Fernstorm. That one no good. Rebounded by Cathin, who can't put it in, but she is fouled. And she will be heading to the line. As we take a look at the statistics for Katie Cathin. Free throw percentage, she is 67% on the season, and the first one is up, and it is good to put the Cougars back up 11. So here's the second free throw. It is good. And now the Saints will get it back now as Hoyleman gets the inbound pass, floats a long pass over to Kennard, as now that's Meek who gets it back over to Kennard on that left side. Kennard spins, gets back over to Meek. Meek now dribbling, gets it to the logo, now moves back to the inside, floats a pass back out to McCray, back to Hoyleman, gets it back over to Knutson, gets it back out McCray, gets it back out now to Meek. Meek a three, no good, rebounded by Kennard. And Kennard backs up to the logo. Now moves across to that right side of the NWAC logo. Gets it to McCray. McCray with a long pass across. Left corner three. It is good. So a big three there was drilled. Just what the Saints need as Knutson gets them back to within 9. So now here comes Glenn, dribbles it and gets it to the outside. Now a three, rebuttal, no good from Martineau, as now it's going to be collected by Fernstorm. Gets it back over now to Cathin, back to Fernstorm for three in the left corner is good. So now here come the Saints once again, as now it is Hoyleman who gets it back over to Kennard. Kennard dribbles to the inside, now gets it back out. Knutson, another three on the way, is an air ball and going to be rebounded by Cathin, who floats a pass across, and the Cougars bring it back with under 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. As Glenn got it back over to Cathin, gets it to the inside now, turning and putting the shot up, and that one off no good. Rebounded by McCray, but we got a whistle and a foul to go against the Saints. Now we have some free throws coming for Jade Rowley. And she is a 49% free throw shooter on the season. And the first one is good. So 7 3/4 minutes to go here in the first half. 31-18 our score. Clackamas leads by 13. And the second free throw, no good. So 13 is that cushion. And now that one, no good. Rebounded by Kennard. She floats a pass over now, gets it back over to Johnson, who checks back into the game. Gets it across now Hoyleman on the logo. Hoyleman now looking for somebody to get it to, and she will move to the inside. She's going to take it herself, and she's going to put it off the iron. No good, and it's rebounded by Glenn, and she is fouled. And Clackamas will have it as the foul. They're going to go against, I believe, Lewis. She's standing right there, so I believe that's what the official was telling the scores table. As now a pass is floated in to Fernstorm. Gets it back across now to that right wing. Gets it back to Fernstorm. Now is Martineau on the left wing. Dribbles in now to the center, top of the key. Looks to the inside. Gets it now. Rowley. Gets it back across Glenn. Gets it to Cathin. Cathin spins. Floats a pass out. Three-pointer Fernstorm. Off the back of the iron. No good. Rebounded Cathin, but into the hands of Kennard. Floats a pass across now as Johnson. Johnson on the left side. Dribbles it to the inside. Gets it up. No good, but she is fouled. And to the line she goes. So my buddy Jake, currently in the car right now, so he's going to be popping in and out of here, but happy to bring you this as first ever Saints broadcast this season for a road game. Kind of makes up for the first home game they had against Lane, which we did not broadcast, but we will have the final game against Umpqua on Friday as Johnson misses the first free throw as we check in on her statistics for this season. She is a 47% free throw shooter, and she makes the second, and it's back to a 12-point game, 31-19, with 6:55 to go. So here's Fernstorm, gets it back over now to Cathen. Cathen floats a long pass over now. Fernstorm gets it over to Glenn. Glenn moves to the inside, gets it back out Martineau. A two-pointer is good. So now Meek will inbound it, and she gets it into, that is Lewis, or no, that is Kennard, sorry. Hard to tell the numbers, but should be able to recognize the Saints players. That one is floated right over to the scorer's table and out of play. Possession back to Clackamas. So Cathen will inbound it as she gets it in now to Glenn. And Glenn now crosses the timeline. Floats a pass, gets it, hands it off back to Cathen. Gets it over Fernstorm. A three left corner, drilled it. Fernstorm with yet another three in this game, and the lead for Clackamas is now 17 as that one is tipped into the hands of Johnson. She's got it, gets it back, and it's intercepted now by Glenn. Glenn now, 2-on-1 now, puts up the shot, no good, but she is fouled. And she will be heading to the line for some free throws. So taking a look at Callie Glenn, her free throw percentage on the year is 60%. So a little above 500. She's got a first of two here with Cougar lead at 17, and that one goes off the back iron, no good, so it stays at a 17-point difference. Second free throw on its way. That one is no good. She missed both, and now here come the Saints the other way as the pass is floated over to Kosmicki. Kosmicki on that right wing. It's got two defenders, gets it across now, as that was Patterson. Gets it back across now, Knudsen. Gets it inside, and that one Lewis could not put it in. Rebounded by the Cougars, as now here is, I believe that was, sorry, Bales. And now here's Cathen, a three. It's good. Cathen hits the triple. It's a 20-point lead for the Cougars. 5.5 to go here, first half. As now Johnson gets a pass, gets it back over to Kosmicki. Kosmicki on the logo, points out her teammates, gets it back to the inside, intercepted by Clackamas. They bring it the other way. Now here's Martineau. Martineau floater from the free throw line is good. Clackamas on a little bit of a run here. They are adding on to their lead. It's now 22. Here's a pass into Lewis, tipped, a breakaway. Fernstorm at the lane, got two defenders, puts up the shot, no good, no whistle. And now brought back the other way by Johnson. Gets it across now. Patterson lost it, and out of play, possession to the Cougars. And now we got a whistle and a timeout on the floor with 4:53 to go and a 41-19 Clackamas lead. So the Saints, who are coming off a 79-62 defeat against the PCC Panthers just over 48 hours ago, or just under 48 hours ago. Try to get back into the win column. After winning two straight, they dropped their game on Monday, trying to make a late postseason push. We will have the latest on the brackets on Friday, as I'm still trying to understand how the postseason works. It's the top 16, as referred to as the Sweet 16, that get into the postseason. And I believe right now 8 or 9 teams are already clinched, including 4 teams in the South region, which includes both these teams, Mount Hood and Clackamas. Clackamas has already clinched their spot in the postseason. So now both teams will regroup. And we will get set here for the final 5 minutes or so that are remaining in this first half. Clackamas with a 41-19 lead, as now it'll be Cathen to inbound from the near side on the right. Now looking, gets it into Glenn, guarded by Knudsen. Glenn now crosses. does not cross, gets it over to Martineau, who gets it back over to Cathen. Cathen moves to the inside, floats up a jumper, no good, rebounded by the Cougars, and now Bales puts in the save, and the lead now is 24. So here come the Saints. Lewis gets it back across, as that is Kosmicki now, gets it back across now to the right side, as that is Hoyleman. As Hoyleman moves across to that left wing, gives it over to Patterson. Patterson floats a pass back to Hoyleman, dribbles to the inside. Hoyleman looking, now gets it back out Knutson. Knutson to the free throw line, floats a pass back out, intercepted, brought back the other way. Clackamas, it's tipped, but back into the hands. And now here's Cathen, wide open shot, puts it in. And the Cougars have extended their lead. It's 26, 45-19 as we dip under the 4-minute mark. Here's Hoyleman. Hoyleman dribbles it to the logo. Now looking. Now looks, gets it across, back to Patterson. Patterson to the inside. Now is tied up. No whistle there, gets it back to Lewis. Lewis spins, puts up the contested shot, can't put it in, rebounded by Bales. And now into the hands of Cathen. Floats a pass back out now. Glenn, here's a three, and it's good. The three there hit by Porter, and Clackamas is now up by 29. So here come the Saints. Got to get a little bit of momentum here before halftime. Just about 3 minutes to go. Patterson tries to get a shot up and does. Big shot there, Patterson. Saints need points. They've got it there. And now we got a whistle and a timeout taken with 3:05 to go, second quarter. So now out of the timeout now, Clackamas basketball, as looks like Grosbeck is going to inbound from that far side on the right side. As she gets a pass in. And now it's Glenn. Spins, gets it over to Fernstorm, crosses the timeline, gets it back over down to Grosbeck, gets it inside to Glenn, now kicks it back out. And now here is Grosbeck once again, gets it across Porter. Glenn going to take a three, no good, and out of play, possession of Mount Hood. So Clackamas, who averages 80 points a game, already nearing the 50 mark here in the first half, as they've already beaten the Saints once this season, as they are halfway to the season sweep. Saints got to get a little bit of momentum as Kosmicki can't put in the two, as it's rebounded by the Cougars, brought back the other way now as gets it across to Fernstorm. Three, left corner is good. And they have officially gotten 50 plus here in the first two quarters. So here's Hoyleman. Hoyleman floats a pass back, gets it across now to Kennard. Kennard gets it back across Patterson or Knutson, back over to Kennard. Long pass Hoyleman, gets it to the inside. Hoyleman now tries to put up a contested two and puts it off. No good. Rebounded by the Cougars and brought the other way with 2 minutes to go here in the opening half. So floats it back. Fernstorm inside the lane, puts in the two. Clackamas just tearing it up here against Mount Hood in the first half. They lead by 32. Kosmicki now gets it over to Hoyleman. Hoyleman gets it back over to Kosmicki. Kosmicki now floats, gets it to the inside, contested two, no good, rebounded by Bales as she floats a pass over to Glenn. Glenn to the inside, now is Grosbeck. Grosbeck underneath, going to be called for the foul. Bucket is no good, but she was fouled on the play. And that'll send Skylar Grosbeck to the line to try to put on some additional points before the half ends. Grosbeck, who is a 67% free throw shooter this season. Looks to add on to their lead, and the first one is just an air ball. So no good there from Grosbeck, as she still has one more remaining. So the lead's still 32 with 93 seconds to go, as she missed both, and it goes into the hands of the Saints as Johnson gets it back out now to Knutson. Knutson floats the pass back out to Kennard. Kennard yelling to her teammates, floats a pass inside. Now Hoylman spins, whistle, and I believe we got another foul, which will allow Hoylman to try to get some points on the board. It's an inbound pass. So Johnson will get it in now to Hoylman. Hoylman now at the free throw line. Spins, floats a pass back out. Patterson gets it back to Hoylman. Gets it over to Johnson. Makes a contested catch. Back to Hoylman, top of the key. Moves over to the left side. Gets it inside to Johnson. Puts up the two. No good. Rebounded by the Saints. Whistle, and we got a foul on the floor. And now the Saints will look to have it once again underneath the basket as Johnson will go to inbound it. So 62 seconds to go, first half. Clackamas 53, Mount Hood 21. Saints trying to get a little bit of confidence going here before the break. Floats a pass inside. Now Patterson floats it up and puts it in. That's a nice looking two there for the Saints and exactly what they need just to get some points before halftime. Here come the Cougars. Inside, intercepted. Here's Hoylman. And now we got a whistle, and we got a carry possession back to Clackamas. So now it'll be Cathan to inbound it from the near side to get a good shot of that Cougar logo. This game being broadcasted live from Clackamas Community College. Gets it inside to Glenn. Glenn now dribbles, crosses, gets a pass across, and now she's going to be called for the travel. So possession back to Mount Hood as Knutson will inbound it. And Kennard waiting in the backcourt. Gets the inbound pass. And now crosses. And Kennard slowly brings it up. Shot clock and game clock about a 9-second differential. Now Patterson gets it back across. Lewis, a three. Air ball into the hands now of Fernstorm. Fernstorm trying to cross. She does. So the shot clock is off. 18 seconds and counting. Clackamas holding. Glenn's got it. Moves over to that right side. Floats a pass back to Cathan. Cathan gets it back to Glenn. 10 seconds to go. Glenn moves. Gets it back to Cathan. Cathan to the inside. Back out Glenn. Over to the right. Here's a three. Martineau off the iron. No good. Tipped, and that is going to do it for the first half as possession goes to Clackamas. And I believe they're waving it off. So that is going to send us to halftime with a 30-point lead for the Cougars, 53-23 after 20 minutes of play. We will be back for the second half. It will be a separate video, but in the meantime, I will get this one published. You can check it out. Well, if you're watching this, you're already checking out, but you can check it out on the MHCC Advocast YouTube page, and we'll be back in 15 minutes for half number 2.